Hello, everybody. I'm Roger Wakefield, lead APV expert plumber, coming to you live from the studio. Man, this has been a crazy couple of weeks. I know that a lot of y'all got really upset with me last week because, man, I was in training. And it was funny because I went to a cash flow mastermind course. And I'll tell you what, I don't think that I've ever done anything that was really that intense. Wow, like this did. It was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I see that we've actually got some people stepping in here. Miss Josephine Smith's in here in AV Customs. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all here. I tell you what, I love talking plumbing, but I love learning. And it was really, really neat because I got to go over and, those of y'all that know, I believe in networking. I believe in growing my business. And I went over and hello, Miss Josephine. Evie Negreet, how are you? Because it's all about making money, managing your money, and multiplying your money. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Chris, how you doing? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I literally, you go back to Hillary Clinton talking about Donald Trump, and when they were in their debate, Hillary looks at Donald and says, "You don't pay taxes." And Donald kind of leans down on the microphone like I'm doing right now. He says, "That makes me smart." And guys, this class that I was in, I actually got to learn some of the things that they were talking about, some of the things that Donald Trump does. And it's how to invest your money tax-free and then how to borrow against that money if you ever need money. So basically, you become your own banker. And I tell you what, I had so much fun doing that. But that was Monday, Tuesday, and half a day Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday was actually the Master Networks leadership training. And I tell you what, I got to speak at it. I got to speak about LinkedIn. Those of y'all that don't know, I do a lot of videos over on LinkedIn. I do LinkedIn Live over there a couple of days a week. So those of y'all that like the live engagement, please connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me, see what I do. When I'm on a live, step in there, say hello, visit, and man, we have fun over there. As you see, I've got a different microphone today. We have actually been in here messing around. Just want to show you, we've got a new microphone system that we're trying to set up, but this is all XLR, and this one here is USB. So we're playing with them and trying to get them to do what we want them to do, but we are having a good time. Nehemiah Riley. Is it better to learn plumbing online or in a trade school? Nehemiah, that's a hard one to tell you because, I actually learned by working with plumbers. Open shop in the field. There was no trade school. It was literally just get in here and learn plumbing. Install it, put it in, and go. But I tell you what, I used to be an instructor in the union. So I love the idea behind a trade school. I see the training that union instructors go through. I've been through a lot of it up at the instructor training program in Ann Arbor, Michigan, or actually right outside Ann Arbor in Ypsilanti. And I tell you what, learning how to be an instructor was really cool because you learn about the 3 different learning types. Do people need to hear it? Do they need to see it? Or do they need to touch it, feel it? So, learning to teach people in the way that they want to learn was fantastic for me. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I like the idea of the training center. I like the fact that you can get in with an instructor right there where you're hands-on and you can learn plumbing. I know a lot of plumbers that they learn in the field, they never, ever study a book, never pick anything up, never learn that way. And man, it's hard for me to learn without seeing it, without being able to study it. So I do like the idea of a trade school. If I've got anybody on here that's been through a trade school or through the union or anything like that, please leave me a comment, say something, and let me know what you think. Colton Jolly, can't wait to start my plumbing career. I hear there's a shortage of plumbers. You know what? There's a lot of plumbers in Dallas right now for SGI, Success Group International. And Success Group International is a group that I joined to help me learn how to run the back end of my office. And it's really helped me a lot because getting in there with them, I learned budgeting, I learned training, I learned a whole lot of things that, basically as a residential service plumber, that information is just not there. Wow, sorry about that. All of a sudden I had a hairball or something. Anyway, learning to study and learning to study the right way to learn things properly is huge. And I'll tell you what, seeing the way the instructors are trained to teach plumbing, I think is another thing. It's real easy to learn from one plumber in the field. But what I really like is, all right, William, that's not from my stash. That ain't very funny. One thing though is, and William, I don't know if it's hot in here or what, but you might check the AC and make sure it's on. But one thing is, learning online is good. I think you can learn a lot of good things. We're actually working on an online training course for some different things. But my thought behind a trade school is you can actually go sit in a class and learn. You can pick up a torch. You can do things right there hands-on. Now, it also depends on the quality of the school. And I don't know what kind of training you're wanting, but me, I always wanted to be the best. And that meant that I had to study different. I had to buy books. I had to learn things that a lot of the plumbers I was working with either didn't know, didn't care about knowing, or just that they really weren't worried about it. So you don't have to go to trade school. You can actually just go get a job from learning from another plumber. Like I said, there's a lot of plumbers in town right now, and I had two of them in the studio earlier today. So these will be on videos that I've got coming up. But what we literally were talking about was how do they get plumbers in? How do they recruit? How do plumbers find jobs? How do they get trained? And I'm the only one of us that was union. Now, Jimmy used to be, so he knows about the training center. I like that. But Todd, the other plumber that was in, is with PHCC, and PHCC has a great training program too. So there's not just online training versus offline or in-school training versus online. There's a lot of different ways to get training. So, you're going to have to look at what works best for you. I came up open shop, but like I said, I love the training program that the UA has and what it can do for me. So that was always a cool deal. Colton Jolly, can't wait to start my plumbing career. I hear there's a shortage of plumbers. Brother, every plumber that I've talked to this weekend, and I think there's about 400 different plumbing companies in Dallas right now, and every one of them I talk to are talking the same thing. We're short plumbers. We need more people. I get it. Do you not have to go to trade school to become licensed? Nehemiah, no, you don't. Actually, in Texas here, you can just work for a plumbing company for 4 years, and then you can go take your journeyman exam. So no, you don't have to go to any trade school to get a license, at least not in Texas. Now, in some states, you may have to. Where are you located? Tell me that, and I want to see what we can come up with. KVN 145, you're such an inspiration. Thanks for doing this. Man, I love what I do. Number one, I love plumbing, but I love teaching plumbing. I love the idea that I've got almost 40 years experience, and I have learned so many things. Things about product, tools, systems, techniques, so many things that, man, I want to share it all, and I want to teach everybody because I do. I really get excited about plumbing. I know you can't tell, but I do. Chris, SATX, I'm assuming that's San Antonio, Texas. I'm actually supposed to be down there October the 10th. Good Day SA. Going to go down there, and they want a plumber, so I'm going to go be on TV for them. Can you run your plumbing business however you want, or is there a procedure? Chris, you can run it however you want. Now, are there systems and processes and things that you should do to do it right? Absolutely. As in any business, if you sell snow cones and you sell snow cones for $1 and it only takes you 50 cents to make them, you're going to make a profit on every snow cone you make. But you've got to make sure you've got everything included in that 50 cents. You know, your ice, your syrup, your cups, the labor it takes, everything. If you sell those snow cones for 10 cents and it costs you 50 cents to make, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose 40 cents for every dime that it costs, or every dime that you bring in. Then you go back to, what if you sold it for $10? Nobody's going to buy it. Unless your snow cones are just amazing and you're doing something nobody else is doing and you're doing it special. But if you're doing that, now you're going to make $9.50 on each 50 cents you spend. So that's why I'm saying you've got to know your cost. You've got to know how to look at your cost, but you've also got to know how to determine that on every single job you do. But I'll tell you what, one of the most important things to know is for running your company is getting the right people. I've had some plumbers in here that I love, and you know that they've done a great job. And I've had some plumbers in here that it's like, you know what, they don't represent the culture that I want. You've got to think about what kind of plumbing company you want to be. And I've talked about that before. You want to know that you're doing the right thing for the people that you go in and work for. Let me come over here real quick. Got some more questions. Future plumber here. I like that. Scythe 5.0. American guy. There was a plumbing company that I saw posted a job ad on Craigslist for an apprentice. Called them, left a voicemail, haven't gotten a call back. Should I go down there and give them my resume? You know, where are you located? What, everybody tell me what city you're in. Tell me where you're located. One thing I tell people looking for a job, if you're wanting to do residential service, and if you don't know what all that is, I created a mini course. Go look at my video about plumbing school. I try to tell people the different type plumbing companies and different types of plumbing. That way they can make the decision to decide if that's what they want to do or what part of it they want to do. And then I teach them how to find those jobs. If you're wanting to do commercial, go look at a big building and find out who the plumbing or mechanical contractor is and talk to them. If you want to do residential service, watch TV and see who's advertising every day, because chances are those are the people that are the busiest. How many hours would you be doing in service plumbing? I don't know if you mean a week or what. Service plumbing is just like everything else. It's a full-time job. You can work anywhere from 40 to 50 or 60 hours if the company's working a lot of overtime. Scythe, what about California? Here's the cool thing about California. In California, you don't have to have a license as a plumber. You can work for a mechanical contractor or a plumbing company. The owner has to be licensed. He's got to get the insurance and do everything, but then he can send you out as either a tech or an installer or repairman. It's up to him to determine what level plumber you are, but it's his license and insurance that's on the line. So California is probably one of the easier ones to get into plumbing. Mo and Z, hello from New Zealand. I learned from your videos and the knowledge you share. Keep up the great work and videos. I'm studying next year for an apprenticeship. God bless you and your family, Roger. Brother, God bless you and thank you. I'm glad that you learn things here. And that's why we started doing this, is to help teach people about plumbing, help tell people about plumbing. You know, we all learn different ways, but if you can watch what I'm doing, learn from my videos, and maybe not make those mistakes, because guys, I talk about a lot of things I've done wrong, but if you can watch these videos and learn and actually do well at it, man, this is a great trade. This is a great career, a great profession to get into. And if that's really what you're looking for and that's what you're trying to do, this is amazing. So, Jeremy Zook, I'm an electrician with a small electrical company. My company is only 1.5 years old. We work new construction. Love your channel, even though it's not my trade. It's still helpful. And Jeremy, here's the deal. The things that I teach plumbers, I could be teaching roofers, electricians. window cleaners, landscapers, HVAC technicians, irrigation guys, it doesn't matter. And the things that I talk about in my video are treating customers right, doing the right thing. And you know what? If that's what you're into, give me a thumbs up here. Go down there and click the thumbs up and let us know that you see it and you believe in it and that's what you think too. And the neat thing about it is I'm teaching y'all from the things that I've learned. And the reason that I do it is because for you to have a successful company, you've got to do things right. You've got to take care of your customers. But first and foremost, you have to understand your trade. Whether it's plumbing, whether it's electrical, whatever it is, you've got to understand your trade. So please, make sure that you take time to learn that first. American Guy, if you do hire me, is a good option to ask if they are hiring for a helper with no apprenticeship or a shop guy. If somebody asks you that and you didn't hire them, for what would you consider it? Here's the deal. You want to start out wherever you can start out. But even if they start you out as a shop guy, you want to work hard and show them that you're willing to learn, you're willing to do well, and you're willing to move up. Some people bring people in. If they don't need anybody right now, they may say, hey, let's bring a guy, put him in the shop, see how he does. If you come in and do well there and they understand that you're willing to learn and you're a hard worker, they want you out in the field. They want you to make money for them. If you can find a job as an apprentice, man, that's great. Whatever you do, always show up, always be present, and focus on learning. The things that most of my plumbers complain about is if they tell an apprentice what to do one day and they've got to tell them again a week later and they've got to tell them again a week later, it doesn't work very well. So look at it and think about it that way. You always want to be present. Don't be on your phone all day. These apprentices they're walking around, they're on their phone all day, they're texting, they're playing Pokemon, they're doing whatever they're doing. That's not the kind of apprentice anybody wants to work with. Make sure that you do better and set yourself apart from every other apprentice in your company, in the union, in PHCC, whatever it is. These guys you're learning from and with, these are the guys that are going to be your competition one day. Make sure that you're doing everything you can to try to be better than them. There needs to be an electrician with a page like yours. You know what? Jeremy Zook, I believe that there is. I think I met the guy today. We're actually emailing because I want to have an electrician on the show. Check out Electrician U. The guy's name is Dustin. He's got another video or another YouTube channel. I believe it's called Journey to Master. Check that out and get back with me and let me know what you think. From what I can tell, he seems like a good guy. And man, if he is, number one, he's down in Austin. I love it down there. Hopefully we can find a way to collaborate together and do something. So go over there and check it out and let me know what you think. Michael Laura, what is your take on side work? Michael, it depends on where you're at. I can't say I've never done any side work, but I normally just did it for my family. I don't believe in an apprentice going out and advertising that he's a plumber and doing stuff like that, or even a journeyman. If you're a journeyman and you're doing side work, you can literally, here in Texas, get in trouble for it. It can put a blemish on your license. It's always a part of your record. And to me, that's just not anything that I've ever wanted. So I always try to do things right. And sometimes my guys laugh at me. I permit every job. I permit every water heater. I permit every backflow preventer. And 90% of the companies around me don't. And that makes it harder for me to compete. But I do believe that we should always try to do the right thing. Jacksonville, Arkansas. American Guy, man, I'll tell you what I would do. And I had a guy in here earlier from Paducah, Kentucky. So I know it's harder in a small town. You can find a good company there. And what I would do is find out what companies are doing the kind of plumbing that you want to do. And, man, try to go to work for them. But go in with the open-mindedness of you're there to learn. And, man, if you'll do that, you'll end up being a great guy. Okay, Frank Perry, tell me where you're located because, yeah, it says, can I start a plumbing company even though I don't have a license? Hiring an uncle who has a master license. Yeah, you can. I would say that if I were you, I would try to get the license, because if you ever make that uncle mad and he leaves, you lose your business. I would tell you, do everything you can to get that license, because then it's on your back. But at least then, too, you're going to understand how to talk to your customers and know exactly what they're talking about. So it is possible in different cities. I tell people all the time, man, be careful, because no matter what you do, if they're the plumber, they know more about it than you do. And it can come back to bite you one day. Jeremy, I'm having an issue with employees. There's a fine line between being an a-hole and being nice and friendly with everyone. And I don't disagree. We had that conversation with one of the companies after we videoed today. There's so many people out there that want to do you wrong, that want to get you to work for them for free. And it's just not a good thing. So, that's why I try to teach people all kinds of things. How do you communicate with customers? If you've got a customer that's not happy, reach out and say, look, I'm sorry you're not happy. I tried to explain things. We're licensed, drug tested, background checked. We send trained people out to the job. We have materials on the vans. We are so different than most plumbing companies around, but explain all that and make sure that they're aware of that. That really can be a big deal. But you always got to try to be nice, because when you're not, they'll record it, video it, copy it, whatever. They'll put it somewhere. I tell a story every now and then about a guy who came up to me at a networking event. And guys, if y'all aren't into networking, get into it. It's a great way to build your business. But he came up to me and literally he said, man, look, I see your reviews. You've got a bunch of 5-star reviews and I don't see a lot of bad reviews. Why is that? How do you get rid of them? So what do you mean? How do you get rid of them? And he was like, literally, how do you go in and erase the bad reviews? And I'm like, you don't. He said, well, I don't see a lot for you. I said, well, it's because we don't get a lot. Don't get me wrong. You're never going to make everybody happy, but you got to try. You've always got to try. Dan Helms, hello. How are you? Jaden Quinn, what can you do if you're in high school to get in plumbing? Jaden, first thing I'll tell you is subscribe to the channel. That way you're always learning. But one thing that I would tell you is I've got a training course, and it's a mini training course, and it's free. But literally it asks you the questions to find out what kind of plumber do you want to be. Start there. Once you get that information done, then you can start making decisions and planning on where you want to go, what you want to learn, and what you want to do. Jeremy Zook, you watch him and talk to him all the time. Good. Hey, if you talk to him, tell him about me. See what he thinks. I really would like to collab with the guy, because I do have a lot of electricians that reach out and ask me questions, leave comments on my videos. Dude, I love it. I love the idea of bringing in another trade and talking to them. I showed you what we've got a mic over here that we're working on. Oh, and it almost makes it. Yeah, we've got another one over here we're working on. We're literally trying to set this up where we can bring people in, interview them, talk to them. And man, I want to be able to talk to electricians, to HVAC techs, to roofers, to painters, to landscape people, and find out what they think it is the reason people should get into their trade. I think that's fantastic. Dan Helms is Texas bound. Congratulations, man. I guess you're heading up here to Corinth, I believe. Good for you. Jackson Hood, hate pulling permits, man. I get it. Some cities are horrible. Jackson, where are you at in Texas? Some cities are horrible to pull permits in. And I hate to say it, because some of them, it's almost a 2-hour process to go in there and sit and talk to them and do it. Now, most of the cities you can do it online, but man, it blows my mind that we make these contractors come in and pull permits and do the things they have to do. And I mean, at the end of the line, that what it costs gets passed on to your people in your city. And if I was a city manager, mayor, somebody like that, I would want the permitting process as fast and smooth and as easy as possible. That way it's not costing my city's people more money. Blair Russell. Okay, I see that. Dan Helms, I see you're that guy. Man, that's what I love. Blair Russell, starting an apprenticeship with one of the best plumbers on the northeast of Scotland. Can't wait to get started. I'm only 16, so I'll be the youngest there by a mile. So Blair, tell me this. At 16, are you still in school, or is getting into plumbing part of your school? I'm interested in that. Jaden Quinn, if you're in high school, first of all, find out what kind of plumber you want to be. I've got code books that I've got on some of my other videos. Watch these videos. Look at the tools we use. Look at the materials we use. We talk about it all the time. You can literally learn so many things on this channel that will help you become a good residential service plumber. And we're actually working on training courses to try to help people in other ways too. So, like I tell y'all, if you hadn't subscribed yet, please subscribe and ring the bell. That way you don't miss out on any videos. If you like the videos we do, man, click on the bottom of it. Give us a thumbs up. But guys, here's the thing too. I love to communicate. I love the engagement. When you've got questions in videos or comments, man, do me a favor. Get in there, jump in there, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. But the biggest thing is subscribe and ring the bell. That way I can see you. I reply to all my subscribers. That is a big deal. I try to reply to everybody. But if I've got 200 messages I need to reply to, man, my subscribers come first because y'all have taken the time, and I love it when you subscribe. But you've taken the time to subscribe to my channel and let me know, look, I'm really interested in what you do. So if you've got questions or comments and there's anything I can do for you, man, I really try. Let me get back in here real quick. Blair Russell, starting an apprenticeship with one of the best plumbers. Okay, got that one. Jaden Quinn, man, study, brother. I've got books to study. I've got videos to study. There's a lot of things you can do. Kyle Willis, what would you do to a crazy homeowner that said they was going to bash your skull in on a warranty call on new construction? You know what? And I don't like the threats. Matter of fact, and believe it or not, I don't get threatened a whole lot, but I don't think threatening people is a good way to handle things. I really think that, if somebody does threaten me or my company, I'll call the police. I'll tell them, hey, look, we did straight up by this guy, but make sure you can document it and prove it. Here in Texas, that's why we pull permits. That's why we do everything we're supposed to do. I've got a license. I'll wear it on my shirt a lot. I guess I take it off when I'm getting on the video. But, if you're supposed to have a license in your state, get it. Make sure that you always have it. Make sure you use it. I actually got online and updated mine today. So, do what you have to do. It really is a big deal. Dan Helms, thirsty for knowledge. Moving to Texas 2 Fridays from now. Need to find that right plumber to show me the ways. Moving to Corinth. Dan, I don't know how far it is from Corinth to Richardson, where my office is. I know it's not real close, but you know what? I think you told me too, you've got about 6 months experience. Isn't that right? Mo NZ, I wish you were my lecturer. You know what? My plumbers get tired of me lecturing them, so that's not always true, brother. Thank goodness you can be online. If I lived in the USA, I'd live in Texas. Would your online school be helpful for me here in New Zealand? Mo, the class that we're putting together, the mini course, if you want to go through it, it's free. Go through it. It'll let you know, do you want to do new construction or service? Do you want to do residential or commercial? And Mo, I don't know, what's the union like over there, or do y'all have a union? Do you have a union or a PHCC, any kind of an organization for plumbers that actually helps them? Just curious about that. Stephen Whittington, welcome in. How are you, sir? Good to see you here. Let me see. You had a question. I'm trying to find it. Got any info on Quest water pipe? Got a ton in Fort Worth, Watauga, specifically, and most don't have money for full replacement. Man, that's a tough one, Stephen. I tell you what, if it's Quest or if it's polybutylene, man, I've seen problems with both. I hate making the repair. If I do not warranty anything. And I just tell them, look, the chlorine makes this pipe brittle. It makes it crack. And if I tighten it up, if I work on it, chances are it could break. And I just can't be responsible for that. But I mean, I've been on some jobs where it's a leak in an area this big, and it's taken 8 hours to get multiple parts, pipe, different things like that. And man, to be honest, it's just not worth it. I hate telling them I can't fix it, but I tell them, look, I don't know what to do. Now, let me ask you this, Stephen. Do you have any kind of financing set up? That's one thing that we've started doing that's really helped us a lot. We set up financing, and we've got a couple of different companies, and if any of them ever start sponsoring me, I'll tell you all about it. But we've got different companies that we can set up financing through. And it's a great thing for people. People may not be able to write a check for, $2,000 for a water heater, but if you tell them, hey, I can get you a payment of, $45 a month, they find a way that they can work that into their budget. And I love being able to do that. It's a good way to help people. James McKay, how are you, sir? I'm in high school and stuck on being an electrician or a plumber. Having other trades would be great. Love from Scotland. Man, I love that. I've got a lot of Scotland people here. I like that. Scotland, New Zealand. I get a lot of people on my YouTube channel from just the UK. And man, I love the engagement. I love the comments because I love finding out what do y'all do different than what we do. So that's fantastic. Jesus is Lord. Hello from Austin, Texas. Love the name and love Austin, Texas. RH, Roger, thanks for the videos. I appreciate all the advice you give to the youth out there about the trades. It's desperately needed. RH, I completely agree with you. I wish, I wish schools would work more getting back into the trades. I know I'm in Richardson, Texas. The RISD is getting back into offering trades in the high school. And I think that's great because you think about it. If we could set up the system where a plumber can learn plumbing in high school, so when he gets out, he knows enough about plumbing that he could go in and work on a residential house. He could diagnose a water heater, unstop a sewer, do things like that. Man, here in Texas, that guy can make about $25 an hour the day he walks out of high school. So I think that we've got to work on the system and find a way. Another thing too, and this is one that we were talking about earlier today with the other plumbers I had in, I kind of like the idea of a national license, a national certification. And I think that is something that if we could get the UA and PHCC, maybe a couple of other organizations together and involved, we might be able to make the system better. I know that surprises some people, but yes, I think there's a way we can make it all better. Apex, how hard is being a plumber on a scale from 1 to 10? Apex, it's man, that's kind of a tricky question because as a plumber, I've done some of the hardest work in my life. I've carried big cast iron pipe up a ladder and slid it in hangers. I've worked out in the heat. I've worked in the cold. But you know what? I've also had easy jobs where you go in and you talk to a customer and spend time communicating with them, and then you work on a faucet or rebuild a toilet. There's nothing out there we can't do. How hard it is, man, it depends. I mean, to me, if you're physically able to do most things, it's not that hard a job. Anybody in here who's a plumber right now, do me a favor. Answer that question. How hard is being a plumber on a scale from 1 to 10? Let me know what you think. And if you're an electrician in here, leave the same answer, but put an electrician next to it. Let me know how hard you think it is on a scale from 1 to 10, whether you're a plumber or an electrician. Okay. Maids Plumbing, how are you? Good to see you. Jason Swoger. Hey, what's going on? Just curious, what is a reasonable price to pay for one of the UPC books? I'm just a general contractor, but it never hurts to have literature about how to do things properly. Jason, I've got the UPC study guide. Actually, that I keep it handy because I teach people how to do studying for journeyman and master exam. And I've also got the big book, and I like it because I've got everything tabbed to where I can find everything. So having the things that I need, and I don't know, I've got a link to the study guide on one of my videos, probably on the plumbing school or something like that. But if you'll click on that link and go there, I think the study guide is probably $125, $150. I love it. And if you watch my videos where I teach you how to study in it, it will literally help you understand plumbing very quick. And I know that's a lot of money for somebody in high school or something, but it is a great way to learn and study. But I love having the code book, the illustrated training manual, because I can literally look through and get pictures and diagrams and things like that. So that's really pretty cool. KM, let me get back to you. Will PVC and ABS be here to stay? What's the next future drain material and technology? PVC and ABS are probably around here for a pretty good while. I don't see them coming up with anything that's going to be a whole lot cheaper or a lot easier to work with. Man, when I started out, it was all cast iron, lead and oakum joints. Now we also started with the tie seal, but I've seen changes, but I don't know that it's going to change a lot from PVC and ABS. They're easy to make, easy to get, easy to install. So I think that's probably going to be around for quite a while. Ethan Munoz, how are you, sir? I'm glad that you're here. Jeremy Zook, I have to leave, but I'll definitely watch the video again later. I'll comment on Dustin's channel. Thanks for doing these. By the way, from PA. Man, that's great. I was actually with a guy, those of y'all that know I'm in networking, I'm involved with Master Networks, fixing to start growing chapters down in Houston. But I was actually with one of the regional partners from Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you what, if you're growing a business and you want to grow well, Master Networks is a good group to get involved with. That's who I get out and network with. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but that has really helped me a lot. And a neat thing about Master Networks, they also help teach me how to run my business. And I tell you what, that's something that I've thoroughly enjoyed. Anyway, seeing the PA made me think about that. Russell Sears, been listening to your channel for a few months now. Very interesting. Got me interested into applying for a plumber apprenticeship. Anything I should do? Yeah, I'll tell you what. First of all, go take my mini course. It's free. Find out what kind of plumber you want to be. That's going to help you determine what kind of job you want to get or where you want to go. So, do that first, because that way, I ask questions like, do you like to build things or fix things? Because that's going to determine whether you want to do new construction or service. So there's a lot of different things there that you can look at, learn, and it might help you pick the right plumbing career and make you have more fun at it. Stephen Whittington, I don't think we have financing, but we do usually say we can't warranty, but my boss is a really good guy and helps almost everyone. Good deal. In any way he can. Unfortunately, the only fittings we can use are, see, you had to say the shark bite word. And I understand it. It's just I hate using shark bites. I know there's a lot of plumbers that love them. That's fine. They tell me I'm old and stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about. That's fine too. That doesn't even bother me. But my thing is, I believe, people tell me, well, we had to use shark bites. We couldn't stop the water. I've been plumbing 40 years. I've always been able to stop the water. If you want to do it bad enough and do it right, you can. Some people use shark bites. Some people believe in them. You know what? That's up to y'all. I just tell y'all why I don't do them. But Stephen, man, if that's what y'all are doing and it helps y'all get in and out faster and you're able to help people out that maybe can't afford otherwise, I completely get it. I completely understand it. Where were we here? I'm trying to find, there we go. Shark bites right there. Larkins Mechanical checking in from the Midwest. How are you doing? Good to see you here tonight. I appreciate you coming in. Cordero, man, I think plumbing is getting easier. And you know what? Man, in a way it is. Especially when you've got people using stuff like shark bite, PEX, ProPress. And don't get me wrong, I use ProPress. I think it's great. There's certain things about it that I love. I love the Mega Press. I love being able to cut into a gas line, install a T, and not have to unscrew everything to get to it. And I know people talk about left-hand threads, stuff like that. I love the fact of just cutting and installing a fitting and tying onto it. It really does help a lot. Shark bite and flow control is all we use on Quest. Stephen, I've used a ton of flow control. I like it. But a lot of times when I use flow control, it's because I'm replacing a fitting that broke flow control. But man, I've seen a lot of shark bite leaks, and that's why we don't use them. Maze Plumbing a 5, and I get it. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. It's something that I think anybody can do. Does that mean I think 80-pound-year-old girl can lift a water heater and install it? Maybe not. But you know what? I have seen some that can. So people that just tell me, look, if you're a small person, you can't do this. Wrong. I've seen it. And people that tell me, well, if you're too big, you can't do it. I've seen that too. So to me, it's all how willing are you to do it? Are you willing to work hard at it? Are you willing to learn at it? And are you always going to do the right thing? Because to me, that's the biggest part. Stephen, plumbing's easy, but you always get those jobs that are difficult. You're right, man. It is what it is. There's nothing, there's no way of getting around it. Sometimes you get a good job that it's hard to do. Jesus is Lord. The easiest job I've had is turning on an ankle stop. There you go. Starting off plumbing, hard-wise is a 10. You have to be strong mentally and physically. After you get past the apprenticeship years, it's a breeze at a 3. You know what? That's a good way to look at it. It's probably harder for an apprentice that doesn't know what's going on because he's trying to learn everything, trying to learn what to do, trying to learn the ins and out, trying to learn what is a tool, what is PVC. And then there's you plumbers out there. I'm not going to say I've never done it, but some of you plumbers out there that will send them to get the sky hook, the pipe stretcher, the square coupling, things like that. So if you've got something like that you do, leave me a comment down here and let me know what it is, because sometimes I do have fun with those. Lane Brat is probably a 6 out of 10. It definitely keeps you in shape, but it all depends on what area of plumbing you're in, and it can keep you in shape. And some of the hard part about it is, look at me. I'm almost 60 years old. I'll be 56 next week. So at almost 60 years old, I'm still able to do it. But I will tell you this, if I've been out doing it all day long and I'm having a hard day, when I get home, I feel it. It wears me out. Man, I can't tell you that it ain't rough, because there are nights that I woke up in the middle of the night with my body hurting, or wake up the next morning and can't hardly get out of bed. So there are times that it can be hard on you. But I think as we get older, everything we are doing is going to be harder on us. And if we have a physical job like this, we're going to pay for it. Mo, I don't know how much about the union here in New Zealand. Would get into it more depth as I continue to study. I'm focusing on myself first. Good for you. Mo, that's why I tell people, look, learn everything you can, because it's going to make you smarter. It's going to make you better. It is really going to help you out. And I really do like that. Husky pipe wrenches. You know what? And I want to get your name right. No, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna mess that one up. Elza Ferropper. I don't have any problem with Husky pipe wrenches. I've actually used them before. I mainly use rigid just because they've been around the longest. That's what I've had the longest. I've used the Milwaukee. I do like the new Milwaukee Fuel. There's a lot of different brands of pipe wrenches. Husky really doesn't. It seems like they're a pretty quality made tool. I hadn't had anybody complain about it. What about any of the plumbers in here? What do y'all think about it? Have you seen any problems with it? And see what we can do. Yeah. Lane Brat says Husky's a good brand for a starter pipe wrench. I don't disagree. I did a course here a while back and was talking to somebody, or interviewed somebody, I don't remember. But we were talking, my question is, would you rather pay a little bit less for a brand new tool that might be a cheaper name brand, or would you rather go to a pawn shop and pay a little bit less for a brand name tool, a high quality tool, but maybe it's got a few years on it? Because I'll tell you what, I've got some pipe wrenches I've had 30 years. So just because it's old doesn't mean it doesn't work. Y'all answer me and let me know that. What do you think? Which would you rather have? A new, cheaper brand or an older name brand that's been around for a while? James McKay, I live in a pretty small town, about 1,000 people. Okay, 1,000 people is a very small town. That's not bad, though, but it's a very small town. There is 1 plumber and 2 electricians. They're about to retire. About 6 months waiting to get a list to get to them. So we definitely need. And I agree. And, get into plumbing as soon as you can, or electrician. It doesn't matter, whichever you want to do. I think all the trades are great. I like plumbing. I think it's a better trade. I think it's a more, and man, I don't want to piss anybody off, but it's a trade. The old saying, plumbers protect the health of the nation. That's a true statement. and we do it by protecting people from disease. And, you don't have to worry about that with HVAC. And I say HVAC, you could get mold and mildew in ductwork. But the whole protecting the health of the nation, man, that's a legit deal. Let me know what you think about it, plumbers. James Mackey, more trades. Man, I want to get more trades in here to talk about. But yeah, you need to get more trades in your town. People need plumber every 3 or 4 years. And if you've got 1,000 people there, figure that's 250 people a year. If you can stay busy taking care of those 350 or taking care of those 250 people, man, get good at it. Get good at it and be the best plumber to where you're the guy they want to call no matter what it is you charge. Now, I'm not saying charge $1,000 an hour, but if you charge more than everybody else and you're the best, there's going to be people in your town that want to pay you because you are the best. Blair Russell wants to know, where do you live, James Mackey? I'm sure you've already probably answered that. I'm working my way down. Jason Smith, how are you? Why do I wear gloves? Why do you wear gloves? If I'm doing new construction, it's to protect my hands from pipes, from tools, from concrete, things like that. When I do service work, I've got some lime green latex, and the green is for the branding. I mean, it's almost the color of the pipe wrench up there, and that is a rigid pipe wrench there, in case you were wondering. But I wear the lime green gloves, but it's to protect myself from diseases or chemicals or anything that I may get into that I don't want to mess with. Let's see. Upanor. Oh, Ullapool. What about yourself? Okay, so James Mackey, Ullapool. Where is Ullapool? No, I understand. I hate them too. I get it. Shark bites are not good, only temporary. And men are great for emergencies. Jesus is Lord, you're right. For emergencies, we used to keep them in our gang boxes out at the airport when I did a big remodel out there. Man, when you've got an emergency, there's nothing better. But it's not something that I'd want to use every day. You watched the rugby today. Okay, so James and Blair are both overseas. Nice, living far near Dundee. Okay, I have no idea where y'all are talking, but I'm going to look this stuff up. Stephen Whittington, usually flow control over shark bite. I agree. Okay, now, so Blair, when you say Blair Russell, or Blair Russell, when you say football, you're talking soccer, at least what Americans call soccer. Either one of y'all watch American football, just out of curiosity. I watch college level. I don't really watch the pros. Hey, my name is Keyshawn. I live in Alabama. What do I think about plumbing and going into real estate on the side? You can do either one, to be honest. And if you're in plumbing, you can be in plumbing full time. You want to go in real estate to invest as, be a landlord, something like that, have multiple properties. It's a great investment. Paul Peck drywall tube in the house. Guys, if y'all have not, man, you want to talk about trades. And, I normally stick with plumbing, electrical, HVAC, stuff like that as trades. But I tell you what, you want to see a neat channel and people to where you can learn construction and great things, y'all need to go over and check out Paul Peck's drywall tube. He does some great stuff. Paul, man, I am just glad you're here. And I believe I'm going to see you in a couple of weeks, aren't I? Elevated One, hello. Monez, yeah, happy birthday. I know I'm getting old. So you're interested in service, repair, and residential. So see, here's what I like about that. You see a lot of people that get into plumbing and they want to build the big buildings, so they're commercial and new construction. But guys, to build those big buildings, you've got to be a big company. What I like about service and residential is you can literally start out a small company and grow it to whatever size you want to do. So I do. I love what I do. I get excited about it. And I love repair because I love fixing things. But also a big part of the repair is the analytics, finding out what is wrong, testing and troubleshooting to see what all you've really got to fix. So, Lame Rap, what's my mindset on mentorship? I really want to start my own company back home. I think finding the right mentor in your area is great. I love the idea of, I love giving back. So that's always been a big deal to me. But the neat thing about it is when you get people that really want to learn, it's exciting. And when you see them doing the things that you say, the things that you teach, man, it's huge. I think mentorship is great. I've hired coaches. I've got coaches and consultants. I've got coaches for YouTube. I've got coaches for LinkedIn. I've got coaches for my marriage. I've got coaches for my business. And if you want to do good things in life, you really need a coach. And I've always believed in that. So I think mentorship is a form of that. You need to find the right people, but I'm far enough along now in a lot of those things that I coach people on social media, on YouTube and LinkedIn. I coach people on how to grow their business because of the things that I've learned from networking, social media, video, SEO. So there's a lot of different ways to go, but I think mentorship is huge. Learning how to do it, learning how to help people is amazing. And man, to me, that's what it's all about. Rugby World Cup in Japan. Aha. And see, I like watching when you get down to the championships and stuff like that. I do. I love watching it. Grayson, the Texas Longhorns are back. You know what? They're not looking bad. I wish we wouldn't have lost against LSU, but it's great having you in here. Katera, let me back up here just a little bit. Lane Brat, got that one. Have I heard of Katera? I have heard of Katera. Bro voice. Jason Swagger, always invest in quality tools. It's definitely the way to go. And see, that's kind of my thought about it. And I made a video a while back and somebody put in a comment about, go buy a cheaper brand. But I think I'd rather go to a pawn shop and buy a better brand because I know it's quality built and chances are it's going to last longer. Jesus Lord, Husky is cool, cheap. I have an 18-inch aluminum, also to the pawn shop for tools. Some tools you need, man, you're right. Sometimes it's nice just to have the real thing. Joe Lalo, any advice for a plumber's apprentice? Should I stay commercial or go residential? I'll tell you what, go watch my free mini course. It's I've got a link to it in here. Go through them, or I say a link. Go to one of my videos that says plumbing school. It's a free course. And literally that's what I'm trying to teach people is, Joe, what kind of plumber do they want to be? Residential, commercial, construction, service, union, non-union. I talk about all of it. Grayson, I saw that. I think that's great. Talking real football, I like that. Rugby World Cup in Japan. James McKay, haha. Let's go Astros. Jason, man, I love watching them when they won the World Series. I'm big into the Texas Longhorns. Love the Texas Rangers, but the Stros, I'll tell you what, that was a pretty cool deal. Watch a bit of American football here and there. It's entertaining, not on the TV. I get that. Since the Texas Rangers have done so terrible this year, I'm now rooting for the Stros. I get that too. Boy, that thing just jumped on me. Where we go? There we go. Steven, I love Q&A video that I do. Okay, I love this live Q&A. Love that. These are often Roger. I'm trying to do these on Mondays. Mondays at 5 o'clock is what I shoot for. I don't remember who it is, but somebody went in one day and left me a note on a video. It says, look, you pissed me off. I was here at 5 o'clock and you weren't here. Man, I try to do them. But if I've got training, if I've got things that I just cannot get out of, I'm actually missing an event tonight that I really wanted to be at because it's with SGI, that group that I'm learning the back office stuff from. And that's where my plumbing coach is through is SGI. But the things that I'm learning over there are big. But since I didn't do this last week because I was in a mastermind course, I decided that I was going to be here tonight and miss that. Anyway, Stephen, I try to do these every Monday at 5 o'clock. So all I ask is that y'all subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up on the live, and tell 4,000 of your closest friends about it. That way they'll come in here and watch it too. So, Blair Russell, only thing I don't like about American football is that it seems to stop every few minutes. No, it stops every few seconds. They run a play, they stop for 25, 30 seconds, they run another one. College football is a little more up-tempo, and I think that's part of the reason I like it better. Paul Peck, yes, I'll be at Vid Summit. I thought so. I'm flying in on the 15th, flying out on the 18th. But, man, looking forward to hanging out with you and getting to visit with you. Larkins Mechanical, we transitioned to service and repair, and it's been great. Building solid relationships with the consumers or customers is a great way to get referrals too. Absolutely. One thing that, we used to tell people is, when you're done, ask people, hey, did we do everything you want done? Did we exceed your expectations? And, do you have any friends you'd like to tell about us? We use a Pulse M thing where we can hand it to them. It lets people go to Google or Facebook and leave us reviews. And guys, I love it because if you're doing your job right, you should ask everybody for a review. It does. It helps you grow your business well. Fern, why do plumbing unions make it so hard for someone to become a plumber? It's frustrating. And you know what? I don't disagree. It's difficult to get in, but I think the reason is they have a lot to offer. And if you've got a really good job open and you've got 50 people applying for it, you can't take everybody in. Man, I wish you could. And if I had 50 people lined up at the door, I wish there was something I could do to make the phone ring tomorrow to keep all of them busy. It's a growth that we go through. And you hire good people and you grow a little bit more. And you grow until you're turning down calls every day. Then you hire more people. And that's what we're working on. It's not easy to do. It's actually kind of hard to do, to keep from just getting on that roller coaster. And man, it's tough. Being a business owner is not an easy job. And that's why I tell people you need the right coaches, the right mentors, the right consultants, people that you can communicate with. The referrals are great though, man. I love that. Grayson, I missed 100% of the shots you don't take. Man, that is so true. Man, you've got to go all in and don't quit. If you quit, you're never going to make it. And that's all there is to it. Now, I'm not saying that there may not be a point where you need to, but I believe in getting in and trying harder than anybody else. And I really think people that do that, and you may need to make changes along the way. Just over a year and a half ago, I wasn't doing social media at all. Now I've got a YouTube channel that's growing great. I'm giving back to my community through social media. I wasn't even really on LinkedIn good over there. Now LinkedIn reaches out to me to do live video, which I do. But also I speak at conferences. And, just over a year and a half ago, this is something that I wasn't doing. So, man, you've got to go all in. Take the shot. Try it. And if you try it and you shoot and you score, it's amazing. Rick Rigsby talks about his father. And, I don't remember the exact words, but he says, look, I would rather you aim high and miss than aim low and get it. If you aim low and you hit it, man, you're never going to get anywhere. But if you aim high, even if you don't make it all the way to the top, at least you're going for it. And man, I love that more than anything. Grayson, I'm my own stash coach, so thank you very much. Julie Wakefield, hello there. Glad to see you in there. Love that quote. Yes, indeed. Bro Voice, I'm working 3-story condos, and this week, blind setting 28 one-piece tub inserts on the first floor. Man, it sounds like you are having fun. I hope it all goes well for you. That you're going to be busy, man. Lane Brat, hey, thanks, Roger, for answering my question on membership. Definitely agree. Good. I appreciate that. Bro Voice again. Man, this thing jumps. When it jumps, it jumps. I see we got Todd Allred in here. What kind of plumber should you be? Guys, watch like I said, if y'all hadn't subscribe and ring the bell. Todd Allred in here is up from just outside of Seattle. Allred Plumbing and Radiant Incorporated, all Reds, ALLREDS. And I tell you what, he's been great. He came over here today. He's in town with SGI, like I told you about. Had so much fun spending yesterday with him and then today, and it was great getting him in here on the video. So that'll be coming up soon. Very big in PHCC, very big in the political side of plumbing. And it's great because most people don't even know there's a political side. But guys, we've got to protect our license, protect the health of the nation, and that's something that we do together. I have to build a tub shoe and roll the overflow on each one because of the framing. Man, I get it. I've been there. James Mackey, I like it. This is some stash. I mean, I got to tell you, I work on this, and it's funny because one of the people at my table earlier looked at me and they had seen me on YouTube and they said, you can never shave your mustache. And I get it. Luckily, I like it. Todd already, just be the best plumber you can be, brother. You are. James Mackey, what time is it for you, Roger? Okay. When you say it's 0.01, you mean like 12:01 in the morning? Because right now here it is, or when you wrote that, it was 6:01 in the evening, 6:01 p.m. Larkins Mechanical, SGI. Contact me at Success Group International. I'll give you some information on it. They do a deal called a Profit Day, and it lets you come in and learn more about it. But they literally, look, I'm a good plumber. I think I'm a great plumber, and I've worked really hard to learn a lot about it. But my first coach was Michael Gerber, who wrote the E-Myth books. And the thing that he taught me is, look, you're a great technician, but you don't know how to run a business. And he taught me a lot of what to do. And when I joined SGI, they taught me a lot of how to do it. So anyway, Larkins, if you want to get in touch with me, I'll make sure you get some information on it. It's really good. Big Tommy D, good to see you in here again. Do I have some sort of policy for employees doing side work in their own time with their own customers? Tommy, here's where my problem is in Texas. If they're doing side work, they're doing it illegal because in Texas, you have to be a master plumber and a responsible master plumber. I was telling somebody earlier, and I don't know if you're in here then, Tommy, but I used to do side work, but it was only for my family. And I didn't see a problem with that. Now, that was many, many, many years ago. We've changed a lot since then. People do what they got to do. I don't agree with it because, what I started doing later is when people call me for plumbing, I just say, hey, look, I work for Courtesy Plumbing. Call them. They may send me out if you want me, request me. But that way, and when you do side work, people, you're either way undercutting all the other plumbers, which I don't think is right, or you're shortcutting things. I mean, there's a lot of people that I just don't know that they do it right all the time. And so that's my thing on side work. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it still happens. Careless Cannibal, hey, how are you doing? Good to see you. Jesus is Lord. What do you feel about a company that's starting to slow down and you're not getting enough hours to support your family? I'm kind of torn between leaving and staying because I want to be loyal. You know what, man, I know the feeling. We go through those stages where we slow down. Right now, the Texas State Fair just started up, and I know that's normally a slow time for us. Sometimes we get slow before Christmas. Sometimes we get slow before tax season. Sometimes we get slow right before school starts. I hate to say it, it's part of the business. If you like the company, I hate to see you leave for that. But as a business owner, I understand. I don't get upset about it. I understand. It is what it is. We've all got our bills to pay. But, the thing that I like to tell people is, look, hopefully if when we're busy and you're doing well, you're putting some money up. That way when it is a little slow, you've got it. And man, that's the best way to look at it. When I worked in the union, when we were doing commercial jobs, I tell people that all the time. Look, you moan and complain when it's busy and we're working overtime, put that money up. That way, when you want to go on vacation or something, it's taken care of and you can take time off. or if work slows down a little bit and you've got to take time off. It's a good way to do it. Okay, let's see where we're at. Careless Cannibal, I am doing great. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Josephine, I am still here. How are you doing? Careless Cannibal, love my videos, and you are the best. Well, I try to be the best. I'm not going to tell you I am, but I promise you we work at it every day. We're still trying to improve our lives. We've actually just bought new microphones, fixing to buy a mixer board. The next thing is a computer, because I want to be like some of the people that I look up to, that I consult with, and I want to get great at it, because I really do. I enjoy doing this. Love talking to y'all. And y'all, like I tell y'all, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe, because when y'all leave comments, when I go through, YouTube's got a new thing where you can see who's your subscribers and who you're not. I try to reply to every comment, but if I get on a computer one morning, I've got an hour and I've got 200 comments. Now my subscribers, I'm gonna reply to them first, just because they've taken time to let me know, look, I believe in what you're doing and I want to support you. So, man, if you're here and you hadn't done it, please subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. Okay. Here's where I'm at. Seems like the calls go towards favoritism to keep the favorites happy. You know, and I hate to say that, but I'm sure some companies do, but is it the favorite, or is it the plumber that sells the most and makes the most and does it the quickest and has less callbacks? There's a lot of different things to look at. And with me not being there and involved, I can't tell you, but I know that you've got to look at everything. And you just want to make sure that you're trying to take care of all your plumbers. But if you've only got one job this day, and this plumber over here takes better care of people, gets better reviews, has less callbacks, there's a lot of things involved, you know, that's really taking care of the company. So that's just something you got to look at. But that's why I tell people, you always want to make sure you are trying to be the best plumber at your company. Work the hardest, work the smartest, do everything you're supposed to do. It'll benefit you in the long run. Josephine, this is a very subtle Southern accent. I appreciate that. Plumbing Explained, out here in the field, installing a 75-gallon gas water heater. Brother, good for you. 75-gallon gas water heater, that's a handful, and I'm glad to see you here. What brand heaters? I actually, really the most time we install Bradford Whites. I like them. They're American made. I don't have a lot of problems with them. I like the people there. I've actually gone up to Grand Rapids, gone to the iTech training. You know, and I like them. And until I have a reason not to like them, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't use other brands too, or haven't installed other brands too, but, you know, they give me a lot of support. I give them a lot of support. I think it's a good deal. Emma Axenchuk. Hi, Roger. Why did you start your YouTube channel? You know, great question, Emma. I love that. I started my YouTube channel because I wanted to teach people in my area about the plumbing problems they could resolve themselves. And things like, you know, how to make a toilet stop running, how to clean out a water heater, what's inside a water heater. I literally started it because I got tired of sending a lot of money to Google. And I thought, if I can build myself as the brand authority, the plumbing authority here in my area, that would be great for me. So that's why I started. But then after I started, I realized I've got just as many plumbers apprentices, plumbing company owners, people that wanted to get into plumbing. I've got just as many or more of them than I do homeowners. Don't get me wrong, the homeowners still come along. They tell me about the things that they fix, and I love that. That gives me a feeling that, man, I have done something good today. And I really do like that. So that's why I started it, Emma. I hope that answers your question. I started it because I wanted to use social media to reach out to my community. And it's turned out I've ended up reaching around the world. And man, it's a great feeling to see people come in from around the world and communicate with them. And we're all talking the same language. Stephen, What are your views on a lot of these service companies not calling inspections in on jobs like water heaters that are inspections needed and sewer spot repairs? Stephen, I don't like it. I had this conversation at my continuing ed course a couple of weeks ago. I pull, and you can ask my plumbers, I pull inspections on every water heater we do. I pull inspections on every clean out we install, spot repairs. I pull inspections on everything. And the reason being, I don't want to be in trouble. I want to make sure that at the end of the day, when that permit's done or when the job is done, the people know that I did the right thing. And I know that legally it's required. So for me to do the right thing, I've got to do it. Now, I'm going through adjusting my price book right now because I haven't raised prices in 3 years, and it's time. And I tell people all the time, look, I'm not the cheapest plumber in town. I've never wanted to be. Everybody's not our customer, but I believe everybody deserves to be treated right. So if they're going to hire me at my prices, I want to make sure we're always doing things right. And it breaks my heart that a lot of people don't do that because those are people I'm having to compete against. But I also go in later and see the kind of jobs they do. And I feel sorry for the people. I just can't do it. What brand heaters? Start YouTube, inspections, careless countable. So he can help us with plumbing. That's what I do. I like teaching people plumbing. That's a huge deal to me. And that really is why I started my channel. Now, just instead of teaching homeowners, I feel I'm spending more time teaching plumbers, apprentices, business company owners. I've got people reaching out to me right now asking me to do another mastermind on how to do networking, social media, and video. And I mean, it takes a lot out of me because it's a 12-week course. But man, when I'm done, people are like, "Oh my God, Roger, we're saving money by what we're doing because we're not spending as much on Google AdWords." Man, it's all worth it. It really is. Larkins Mechanical, you are more than welcome. Thank you. Jason Smith, number one, you can't be the expert plumber in Houston because I'm in Houston too. So be careful now. We're gonna get crossways. I'm joking, but I am. Matter of fact, I've got to go to San Antonio next week. I'm on the TV show there, and I love what I do. So I love getting out and talking about it. So that's pretty cool. I'm out here now. Now we're talking good. You have job. Well, I don't have any open unless you're a licensed plumber. That's a big deal. Live off the money you make for the month or year, not per paycheck. Stephen, that's so true, man. What brand and model of work boots do you recommend? Georgia Boot, Timberland, or Red Wing? Bro voice, I got to tell you, I wear Red Wings. I think they're the old 926. It's the Cadillac model, maybe 924. But I tell you what, I've loved them. I've worn them for years, but they've quit making them. And why you would take your best boot and quit making it, I don't know. But, man, I've worn Red Wings for years. I've worn some other brands along the way. I always come back to Red Wing because of comfort. I mean, that's what I'm wearing right now. I was at training all last week. I went and spoke at Video Marketing World. I spoke at VidCon. I had on my Red Wing boots. That's just what I like to wear. James, the general hourly rate for plumbers and electricians here is about 40 pounds. Don't know what that is in dollars, but how does that compare to where you are? You don't know how much it is in dollars, and I don't know how many pounds it takes to be the dollar. So, man, I don't know what to tell you. Plumbers here in the United States on the check probably make anywhere from $25 to $75, $80 an hour, depending on where you're at. And where you're at has a lot to do with it. That's really a big deal. Josephine, I'm glad you're doing good. Love seeing you on the lives that we go to on Nick and D and stuff like that. So great seeing you here. I do appreciate you coming in. Jobo, Roger, do you offer membership for starting your own company? I'm located in Tennessee and getting back into the trade, maintaining a license since 2009. Jobo, where are you at in Tennessee? Because I know a lot of plumbers in Tennessee and Kentucky out in that area. Actually, one of the plumbers here with me this week is Steve Huff from Steve Huff Plumbing. I think he's out in Eastern Tennessee somewhere. I'd have to check. Located in Tennessee, getting back into the trade, maintaining a license since 2009. Good for you. Klasky Supo, yes. Heather, no. Pinky Grothier had. Yeah, that doesn't sound good. James McKay, you're a good example of it. If you work hard at what you do, you will be succeed with plumbing and YouTube. Doing a great job. Thank you so much, James. I really do appreciate you being here. Rim water heaters, I don't have any problem against. Guys, there's a lot of product that, one of my only issues is that they sell them in the box stores too. And I'm not saying anything good or bad against it. It's just I think that a truly professional product should be available to professionals. It should be a higher quality. And there's a reason for that. Don't get me wrong. I think that homeowners and handymen can go out and buy anything. And here in Texas, legally, if it's your homestead, you can work on your plumbing system. You just need to pull a permit and get it inspected just like anybody else would. So I have no problem with it, but I think professionals deserve the right to buy a professional product. And I'm licensed, I'm insured, I do everything right. I think that I should be able to buy a little bit better product, but don't get me wrong, I will get them for any customer of mine that wants them. And that's a big deal to me. Doing a great job. Thank you. Joined YouTube. Yes. See, somebody's been doing their homework. I joined YouTube on October 24th, 2014. I literally didn't get serious about it until March. Actually, April the 1st, 2018 is when we started getting serious about posting videos. We have pretty much posted 3 a week every week since then. We might have missed 1 or 2, but I do a lot of lives that I know have made up for it. And we've also released a lot of extra videos that I thought people just wanted to see or thought was a good time. So we've done a lot of things like that. I hope it's stuff y'all like. I tell people all the time, if there's some videos that we hadn't made that you want us to make, do me a favor and leave a comment. Let us know. Send me a message. We're always trying to help y'all out, and that really is a big deal. Where do we go down here? Have you had to take out a business loan to start your own company, or were you able to do it with little debt? I did not take out any loans. We're a debt-free country, so a debt-free company. So it's been tough sometimes. I got to tell you that. If I had $50,000 or $100,000 in the bank to lean on, I'd probably do things a lot different. But I love the fact that we are debt free. It makes it better for me. If I ever want to walk away from this, I really don't owe anybody. I've got a couple of vans that I've financed, but I didn't just take out a big loan to start everything. Now, we just started this out and worked hard at it to help make it grow into what we wanted it to. Jesus is Lord. Thank you. I appreciate it. You are more than welcome for the advice. Blair Russell Light is getting bait. So you're going, man, I don't blame you. I'm actually tired myself. It's been a long day with all the training I've done. James McKay, Blair Russell, thank y'all very much for coming by. Man, I really do appreciate that. Like I said, please tell 4,000 of your closest friends. They need to subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up, all the above. Thanks, guys. Tim Pseudonym. Is it common to flood a house by mistake? It's not common, but I have seen it happen. Be very careful. Plumbing Explained, Bradford White's the only way to go. They've been around since the 1800s. That's who I trust and who I install for my customers. Man, I'm right there with you. Also made a video explaining how you can test out multiple work boots for free to see which ones you like best. You have to be an Amazon Prime member and order your stuff through the wardrobe. I get it. And there's a lot of good ways to try things. James, man, I'll see y'all later. I appreciate it. Paul, still here. Love it, brother. I've probably got about 10 more minutes and I'll be getting out of here myself. Big Biff 88. I want to have a career as a plumber and maybe branch out into as many trades as I can. After hopefully start a plumbing business with a good friend of mine who is a plumber's helper. Man, learn it yourself too. Get in there, learn everything you can. Try to be the best plumber. Try to always do the right thing. Big Biff, that is huge. And man, I mean, I don't care if you were moving in next door to me. I'd tell you the same thing. Always try to do the very best thing for every customer you have. It's huge. Rizzo 619, you're definitely an inspiration. I'm 3/4 through my certification course. What kind of certification course are you going through? I'm interested in knowing. I'm starting to get tired, you can tell. Do some in the field videos. I like that. I do those every now and then. Thanks for answering all the questions. I really appreciate your very inspiration. I've definitely subbed and rang the bell. Lane Brat, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Turtlehead Rudy, would you recommend going to a technical trade school for plumbing, going straight into the workforce as an apprentice or learning on the job? You know, I started out learning on the job, but later I became an instructor in the union. So I see the benefits to both sides. Doing it through the union, going through a trade school or something like that, you're going to have to dedicate more time. In the union, you've got to go at least 2 nights a week, at least where I'm at. I think some unions, maybe they go 1 Saturday a month or maybe 1 week out of the month or something like that. There's a lot of different ways I've heard about them setting them up. Man, it depends on how good you want to be or how hard you want to learn. If you just learn out in the field, you've got to hope that plumber you're working with is teaching you the right way to do every single thing. So always, keep your eyes open and try and learn everything you can. Didn't need to do that. Good. 400 people, let alone for that. Come on, Steve Whittington. How am I going to grow, man? Plumbing certification course. The plumbing certification course, I'd like to know which one. Who's it through? Is it PHCC? What kind of a deal is it? And I'm just curious because I like to know what's out there. Big Biff, love my channel. You're an inspiration to me. Glad I found you. Man, I'm glad you found me too. Paul Peck, thank you, brother. Man, I love what you do. And I do. I tell people about you all the time. Mac Huffson, what's your opinion on starting a plumbing business in a cottage lake home area? Specializing in septic would be important, I'd imagine. If that's what the sewer is running into, absolutely. I know in Texas, as a plumber, we can't do septic. You've got to work for a septic company for a while. And I actually think it's 5 years. Figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. Go through and look at my mini course. It's free. It just literally, by the time you're through, I ask like 3 different questions, but it'll help you figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. Larkins Mechanical. Man, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Turtlehead Rudy, thank you. Okay, Los Angeles Trades Technical College. All right, Rizzo, thank you. So my question would be is, I'm assuming that they're certified, and I'm assuming that when you go through that technical college, you can get out and get a better paying job. And that's why I asked, because if you go through the union, you go in knowing nothing, you get out, you're a full-blown journeyman plumber. And then you can actually become a master plumber just a little bit longer. Me, I'm a union contractor, but I'm residential. My guys can get a tradesman license in just after 2 years, 4,000 hours. And I can put them into a truck, send them out, and they can start making money. So that benefits me. There's a lot of different things and a lot of different ways to look at it. Go through the mini course, check it out, see if you think plumbing is something you like and then which way you want to go. If you're going through commercial, PHCC has a great training program. The union has a great training program. CEF here in Dallas, Construction Education Foundation has a good program. There's a lot of different training. I know that there's a lot of online training schools. I'm trying to create a digital course that'll help people learn the things that I think are good. So, and that one won't be free. I'll just be honest with you. But as much time as we're spending putting it together, you'll understand why. But the mini training course is. When I do things like a mastermind, that's not free. When I sat down for, an hour to an hour and a half with, 20 people from around the country, and I'm teaching them how to grow in networking, how to grow in social media, how to grow in video, the things that I've learned about SEO that can help them there too. And I spend a lot of time, but you know what? I get paid well for it, but it helps them grow their business. And to me, that part is huge. Okay, certified. That is great. Thank you so much. LNTC Zeta. Hey, out of the four main trades, welding, electrician, plumbing, and HVAC, what are the pros and cons? I'm sure you have knowledge on all of them. Okay, let me tell you what I got. Welding is a great career. You can make a lot of money at it. I would get bored at it because literally you're just sitting there with a hood over your face in the dark, pushing a puddle. And that's all you're thinking about is that puddle. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure your mind can drift, but you get to where all you're doing is focusing on that puddle all day, every day. I have known some amazing welders. I've known some welders that could reach up under a pipe, never have to wear a hood. They could weld just by feel. The guys were phenomenal. That would bother me. I don't think I could do that. Electrician, plumbing, and HVAC, those are all about the same. There's benefits. There's good and bad to both of them. Even the welding. Guys, you're going to work hard. You're going to wear your body out. You're going to tear it up. It is what it is. Learn to take care of it from the very beginning. That's one of the cons. One of the pros, being a residential plumber, and I could say the same thing as an HVAC tech or an electrician. Going into people's houses and taking care of them and knowing you're doing the right thing every day, I cannot tell you how good that makes your heart feel. By taking care of people and doing the right thing, it is huge. Commercial, man, I loved commercial because I love building buildings, but you know what? There's not as much gratification in it. And don't get me wrong, it's not all about gratification, but I love knowing that I accomplished something good. Now, don't get me wrong. I worked on the largest hospital in Dallas here. And every time I drive by it and see it, it's great. But I can't tell you, too, that I don't get just as good a feeling from driving by a house that I changed out a water heater in. I fixed a slab leak under. I fixed a gas leak in, whatever it is. There's a lot of different things, but it's all amazing. Josephine, I see you're going to bed 1:30 a.m. and it's 6:30 p.m. here. So you're 7 hours ahead of me. Good to see you here. Thank you so much. Rizzo going 5 days a week. Is it 5 days all day or 5 days at night? Javier Cortez, how are you? Good to see you. John B., third year of a plumbing certification course. Go out once a month. Oh, you go once a month. Online homework, open book test, maybe 1 day of hands-on training. Man, learn all you can. Rizzo 619, 4 semesters. I like that. Elazar Garcia, I don't do new construction. We can do residential and commercial, but my thing is I love service. So we do residential service, and that's really our big thing. Jorge Guzman, I'm working as an apprentice plumber, ATM, not sure what that is. 20 years old. Any advice? Man, learn to be the best you can be. Listen to your journeyman. Take pride in your work. Always be on time and do whatever it takes. Learn everything you can do to be the best plumber you can be. I've got 40 years in this trade almost, and I'm still learning every day. I still study every day because it is so important to me to do things right all the time. And man, I can't tell you how big that is. Josephine, good night. Glad to see you here. I appreciate you coming by. Paul Peck says good night too. 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay, so you're there a pretty good bit. That's good. Rizzo, come down to your class sometime if you're in town. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate some T-shirts. I like that. I've got to get some more made. Thanks for the advice, Roger. I live in Denver, Colorado with a minimum wage job right now, trying to find the trade that is right for me. learning computer repair now and something else later. You know, man, here's the deal. I tell everybody the trades are amazing. I think they're a great way to get a good life ahead of you. You don't have college tuition when you're done. Even if you go through the union, you know, it's pretty much, there's some stuff you have to pay for, not a lot, but it's not like a college education. Basically, when you get out, you're debt free. So, guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed this. I am fixing to get off here. It is after 6:30 here, and I've got to get in bed because I've got to get up because I've got stuff to do in the morning. Those of y'all that are connected with me on LinkedIn Live or on LinkedIn, I do LinkedIn Live at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And man, I enjoy doing that. It's a lot of fun. Same type of engagement. A lot of people there. Those of y'all that gave me a thumbs up, I really do appreciate it. Those of you that have subscribed and ring the bell, man, thanks for your support. I love the fact that I can come in here and see y'all, and we're really doing things well. So I really do appreciate all y'all being here and everything you do. So I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the Expert Plumber. I'll see you on the next video. Good night, Paul. I'll see you on the next video if you don't get flushed.